So, it is within. The portal that brought you hither, and will take you home. I appreciate your sentiment. I truly do. But 'tis a very long game that we must now play.
Indeed.
And while you have maintained a stable presence here thus far, there are dangers in lingering over long. No. You must return to your own battlefield. Make use of the knowledge you have attained, that your days here and our friends' sacrifice be not in vain. With Meteion free to pursue her designs, 'tis only a matter of time until the final days are upon us. We must be ready. From fortifying our defenses to securing our escape, there is much to be done. In spite of this, we cannot allow the report that set this calamity in motion to become common knowledge. Were the masses to learn the fates of the other stars, I fear the situation would spiral out of our control. I must carefully consider who can be trusted, and bring them into the fold. Ordinarily, I wouldn't hesitate to call upon the 14. However, it was the desire for a fair determination that drove Hermes to attempt to erase our memories. Were he made aware of his actions, there is no telling whether he would remain a friend or become a foe.
Oh, definitely the latter, I would say.
Alternately, we might try to alienate him from the convocation. Yet in doing so, we would deprive ourselves of a brilliant mind who would be invaluable in the crises to come. Quite the dilemma. Which is why I must work independently of the convocation. Regardless of how we proceed, if we are to permanently avert the final days, we must be equal to Hermes' challenge. We must prove that mankind is worthy to exist. And this hinges, I think, on how we confront the all-consuming despair that accompanies a senseless and seemingly inevitable end.
Indeed.
Bewildered and divided, we would perish like the peoples of those celestial ruins. We could not hope to survive the final days, much less take the battle to Meteion at her nest. We must find a way to defeat despair, to unite and prepare as many as possible for the struggle ahead.
Wow.
Heavy will weigh the burden of guiding this legion of souls.
Yep.
Yet I have faith in mankind's potential. As long as he believes in himself, there is naught he cannot achieve. So I will not give up on him. On us. You may find your world to be very different. Or perhaps the erasure of our friends' memories has sown the seeds of a conjunction between us. We cannot know until the moment is at hand. So shall I strive to do my best, taking naught for granted as I walk my path. And I pray you walk with me to the end. As you move forward, so too will I, as will all, resolved to fight for the morrow. And when mankind has found the strength to stand against despair, we shall silence the song of oblivion.
Yes, ma'am.
She who sings it will learn our journey is far from over. This I promise. Fare you well, my light of the future. Till we meet again.
Wow. Wow. Makes sense now why Heidelin chose us as her champion. Makes perfect sense. She knew us all along. Would really suck if something hit me in the face right now.
I shall strive to bring honor to the seat of Vandani.
So Hermes did join the convocation. Oh shit. And then it came upon them.
Even now, I remember standing there, locked in a moment where the sky is aflame. Where stars fall as tears, and screams darken the seas. Where resignation rots the trees. Where terror twists magics into abominations. Such is the lament of they who have gone before.
Just like the creatures that...
The song of they who tried and failed to create a better world. The song of the end.
Hey, Emmett.
That which hides at the edge of the universe is no longer hope's creation. It is hopelessness incarnate. That day, mankind saw half of its number sacrificed to bring forth Zodiark.
Wow. So they've already summoned Zodiark.
And covering the star in a shroud of ether, we forestalled the final days. Yet the cries echoed still. We wept for innocence lost, wailed for death inevitable. A reality too terrible to bear. And for too many who sought comfort in gilded memories of joyful days and tranquil nights.
This is all wrong! Why must we suffer so?
It needn't be like this. No. There must be a way to restore things to the way they were. To reclaim the perfect paradise we once had.
No, my friends. Suffering exists, and we cannot pretend otherwise. No civilization, however great, could eliminate it. If we would live, we must accept it as our constant companion. Let us not seek to forget this tragedy. Let us carry it in our hearts, that we may grow stronger and know true happiness.
We can't accept it. We won't accept it. It will be ours again. A world free of sorrow.
You're just repeating what those other civilizations did.
No, it will not. For there has ever been sorrow. Mankind was but spared its biting sting for a time. So please, open your eyes. To try and reclaim those lives we lost by sacrificing yet more isn't wisdom. It is weakness. No paradise is without its shadows. If we cannot accept this truth and learn from our pain, then our plight shall be repeated.
O mighty Zodiac! God, born of our boundless faith, we bid you, hear our prayer!
You're not stopping it, you're merely
Accept
delaying
this
it.
offering of lives, and deliver unto us the lives we once had. Deliver unto us the days of old.
Their Zodiac wasn't
The
a
days
cure,
when
he
the
was just a
star
band-aid.
was a font of love, and we knew naught but bliss.
Shit.
You would destroy it? Our beautiful world?
What?
Lands that stretched on forever. Skies one could drown in. The heartbeat of nature, silent yet strong. And amidst it all, a people. Beacons of light and life. Laughter that warmed my heart like naught else before. They are my meaning and my purpose. My love. In spite of, or perhaps because of this, I choose to believe in mankind's potential, in his ability to find a way forward. So let there be no way back. From that temptation, I sunder us. No more shall man have wings to bear him to paradise. Henceforth, he shall walk.
The Warrior of Light stance.
all is excruciating pain. I breathe fire and torment.
Jesus.
I birth a world of suffering to mire and plague.
Jesus.
In one fleeting moment,
The
lives
rejoinings.
come and go, ever moving.
Every time a
towards the
rejoining
unknown.
happened, it weakened her.
And in that fleeting moment, they cry for the answer to the question.
Every damn time a calamity happened.
Why, given life, are they meant to suffer, to die?
Oh my God.
As fragmented, imperfect beings, yours is a never-ending quest. A quest to find your purpose, knowing your end is assured. To find the strength to continue when all strength has left you. To find joy, even as darkness descends. And amidst deepest despair, light everlasting.
Christ almighty. Holy shit.
A conjunction has begun to form, an intertwining of your time and mine.
Holy shit. Wow.
When you truly understand what is at stake, and your journey has prepared you to surmount the insurmountable, then shall I honor the promise made in another time, another age.
And you did. And you did. Jesus. Wow. Wow. Yeah, the Heidelin is evil crowd can like the Heidelin is evil crowd can just like the Heidelin is evil crowd can just like shut the hell up. They really can. Like wow. And to think you doubted Heidelin, I think all of us to a degree, even slightly, our faith wavered. I mean, how could it not, you know? How could it not with what MSQ revealed to us back in Shadowbringers, with her being a primal? I mean, what had we always known up until that point? We had to, that we were the primal killer. We were the icon slayer. I mean, you know. I mean, gosh. So yeah, it was only natural that we may have had some doubt. I mean, even at the beginning of this expansion, one of the choices we could have said to her was, I don't trust you anymore. You know, it was basically that. You don't think the writer... Well, of course the writers intended us for start arriving at that conclusion. Of course. Oh, yeah. The signs were there. There was a few just key facts keeping us from the complete truth. Yep. But knowing now, it's like... Because we knew Hydaelyn sundered Zodiark, imprisoned Zodiark, and sundered the Source. But we didn't know the implication behind it. Like, we'd only been known of it was to stop Zodiark. Or stop people from sacrificing more lives to Zodiark. Because you also have to remember, Zodiark is not inherently evil either. Which is another thing we came to believe. Which is another thing we came to believe from the very beginning of Final Fantasy XIV. It is embedded into our belief that Zodiark is evil. Zodiark was never evil. Zodiark was never evil, if you think about it. True, by sacrificing lives to give him power to prevent the final days was an absolutely abhorrent act. Even though the intention was good, the act itself was abhorrent. But Zodiark the Primal is not necessarily evil. Zodiark was never the evil. Zodiark was never the bad guy. He was meant to surround the planet in ether, which he needed lives for. Exactly. He needed ether. Yeah, he needed souls, he needed ether. That's right, because the Amortines were almost pure ether. Precisely. Because Dynamis can't get through ether. Precisely. All of those facts were thrown in right there. Dynamis cannot go through ether. And vice versa. So because Meteion is composed entirely of Dynamis, Zodiark was literally the barrier between us and the final days. But now that Zodiark is gone, now the way is open. And now that we killed him, well, we didn't kill him. Amon did. Fandaniel Amon. That was all part of the plan because of his nihilism. I know Elididus thanked you for freeing Zodiark, and that's fine. I am perfectly aware that Elididus thanked you for freeing Zodiark. But as you see, that was part of the plan set by Amon. He wanted Zodiark to die. He wanted to take control of Zodiark so that he could destroy him. Or so that Xenos could destroy him. Think about it. Think about this, y'all. Xenos. Yeah, exactly. Why do you think Fandaniel coerced Xenos this far? Xenos himself said he would gorge upon Zodiark. He himself claimed that. Fandaniel fed that hunger. That's why he broke the barriers containing Zodiark, and that's why he took Xenos to the moon. The intention was for Xenos to basically eat Zodiark, kill him, take his power. Because in doing so, the ether shield around Aetheris would be gone, and the final days would be upon them, because the thing that was preventing the final days was no longer there. And Amon served Xandi, who himself turned to nihilism after getting allied to glory. Fandaniel only ever wanted serving nihilism. And where do you think, that desire came from? Because you also have to remember, Amon is a fracture of the original of the original Fandaniel, aka Hermes. So that nihilism goes all the way back to Hermes. Carried on in his fractured state, Amon. It all comes full circle. Didn't he say after beating Xeric he's nothing like Hermes? No, but what I'm saying is that Hermes would be disgusted with him. Yes, Hermes would be disgusted. yes, Hermes would be discussed about him after Hermes had his memory wiped, because you saw Hermes in that cutscene right there that he was in despair at what was happening. But if you recall, before the memories were wiped, he encouraged it. That's why he encouraged me on to go. That's why he tried to stop us. That's why he encouraged her to go do what he did. The nihilism started there, whether the memory was wiped or not. The lamentation of Herpes broke and festered over the years. Exactly. No, that nihilism was there. And then the memory wipe happened. And Hermes, and what we saw of Hermes during that cutscene a moment ago was in despair at the final days happening. But prior to that, when he learned of what Medion had found, he encouraged it. Why do you think he was trying to stop us? The memory wipe, I think, fractured him, to be honest. No, I don't think the memory wipe fractured him at all. No. The memory wipe didn't fracture him. Venat fractured him. Hydaelyn fractured him. So you're right. Amon is nothing like Hermes that he remembered, but you also have to remember, Hermes doesn't recall those events, but that doesn't mean that the initial nihilism is not there, or that the seeds for that nihilism is not there. That doesn't mean it's not there. It's just buried. You have to remember, Emmett Selk himself even said, even when memories are, and Hithildea said this, even memories that are erased or forgotten may show up again in the ethereal sea once you return to the planet or return to the star. So even forgotten memories can resurface again. The nihilism of Hermes comes full circle. Yeah. That is why Emmett helped us against Elizabeth. Exactly. It all came full circle. But it all comes back to this. He doesn't remember specifics, but he remembers the pointlessness. Precisely. He does not remember the specifics. He just remembers the pointlessness of it all. Precisely. 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 That one little seed of remembering the pointlessness of it all, it never truly went away. It was just buried. And when the fracturing happened, and when the sundering happened, it had to pop up somewhere. It had to pop up somewhere. It just so happened to pop up, and the thing is, the trig, and like someone just said in the chat a moment ago, the triggering thing that rekindled that seed of nihilism and wanting to just destroy it all and end it all, it was encouraged by none other than Xandi. And Amon experienced pointlessness as well with Xandi. Exactly. And that pointlessness was Emperor Xandi said it himself. It doesn't matter how much you conquer, how much gold you store up, it doesn't matter. In the end, death claims us all. And so that seed of nihilism resurfaced in Amon. From those words, it resurfaced. And that's when things were set in motion by Amon. Yeah. And to think, you have to remember, there's nothing wrong with Hermes being different from the rest of his fellow ancients, because he was different. Hermes was different from his fellow ancients. He thought outside the box. He wondered, why do we have to continue with the status quo? Why is nobody else affected by loss and death and sorrow like I am? There has to be more to it than this. And he didn't accept that. He didn't accept the status quo of fulfill your duty and then that's it. He truly believed he himself was an anomaly. You have to think about this, guys. Hermes himself was an anomaly of the ancients. He was an anomaly. None of them were like him. And the thing that conflicted him so greatly was, surely there is more to life than just the fulfillment of one's duty and then death. And so, in a very Dr. Frankenstein-esque kind of way, he created, let's just call her for what she is, he created a monster that couldn't comprehend or decipher or think in depth. All it could do was just take in the information and things like that was given to it. The difference was emotion affected it, because Meteon is composed entirely of dynamis. Just like we experience it as well. AKA, I'm telling you right now, dynamis has everything to do with our limit breaks. Because what do limit breaks come from? What is the embedment? What is the embedded lore behind limit breaks in Final Fantasy? A surging of emotion. Think about it. Limit breaks happen from a surge of emotion in Final Fantasy. In Final Fantasy VII, when you're damaged too much, your limit break goes up. In Final Fantasy VIII, when you are at death's door, your desire to no longer die goes up. Thus, your limit break is unlocked. In Final Fantasy IX, your limit break is unlocked. Emotion, determination, will to survive. Why do you think it takes a great deal to utilize a limit break, and they don't just do it all the time? Why do you think in Final Fantasy XIV, limit breaks can only be used after going deep into battle? Think about it. Why do you think limit breaks are not available from the get-go? You have to be halfway or almost through a battle to even utilize your limit break. Why do you think, think about this. Why do you think a tank's limit break is a defensive one? Why do you think a healer's is to bring back those from the brink of death? Why do you think a DPS is to deliver the final blow? Because it all goes back to the emotional connection of determination and the will to survive. Why does the limit break not charge faster when healing is done? Exactly. Because you're not at your limit. Why do you think it's called a limit break? It's not just you're breaking your limit. It's you're at your limit. And this is your final gasp of desperation, basically. It's surpassing your limit, exactly. Which also explains the color. You think Dynamis existed in other games? I absolutely think it does. Why do you think a limit break bar has always been a golden yellow color? Or orange, yellow, that color. Why do you think it's always been that? What color is the limit get? Why do you think it's always been that golden color? Yellow or orange, a yellowish orange. I think the story just made Dynamis canon in the Final Fantasy universe. I'm telling you, and this goes back to what I said yesterday. I'm telling you right now, my theory of a Final Fantasy multiverse is true. Noctis showing up may have been an Easter egg, but I also think that it was a canon thing. But also, yes, Gilgamesh, but also Omega, but also just because these similarities are too damn real, that there are other shards of the other Final Fantasies. I just think it's another multiverse thing, because you have to remember when you traverse the rift, anytime the rift is brought up in Final Fantasy since Final Fantasy 1 and 5, anytime the rift is brought up, time and space are always thrown in there. And Omega's always been a creature that can traverse time and space. Gilgamesh is also FF5's Gilgamesh. Yes, he is. Anytime you have seen Gilgamesh pop up throughout Final Fantasy, that is Final Fantasy V's Gilgamesh. Yep. First has Mount Gold, so it might have merit. Well, think about it. Y'all, here's an easy one. Why do you think the same summoned creatures keep showing up in each iteration of Final Fantasy? Who's to say they're just not multiverse variations of each other? I'm telling you, a Final Fantasy multiverse exists. I'm telling you it's there. I'm telling you it's there.